what's up guys? Are you thinking about using some of these caulking tools for your next caulking project? I'm gonna give you a rundown on what to expect, what I think you should and shouldn't buy, all right? So I've got all these goodies right here. I've got the blue ones, which you've probably seen. And if you don't know much about them, the blue ones all have different angles on the corners depending on the size of bead that you want and the shape. Maybe you want a rounded bead, but maybe you want a 45-degree bead. All right, so you can get different ones with different bead sizes and whether you want them rounded or angled. All right, there's also really small form factor in case you need to get behind tight spaces like behind here. All right, on top of that, there's these guys. Now the benefit of this thing is actually that you can get into a really well, I couldn't get back into here. On this one I had to use my finger for parts of it. But they allow you to get into places that might be difficult with one of those bigger squares. I also prefer this design over the blue design just because of ease of use. And if you haven't seen one of these, this particular one, also when you go down like this, it's got a scraping tool on there, kind of like how you scrape ice off of a windshield, but this one is for scraping old caulk or even new caulk. But anyway, so it's got that feature. And then on the other side, it's got this metal thing, which actually comes really in handy for extracting excess caulk and old caulk off the walls. Anyway, I will tell you my personal opinion is that the best money that you can spend when doing a caulking project is going to be on a good, proper caulking gun, okay? So they're not that expensive. The cheap ones at the store I think are $5, and I think this one's about 10 or 12 bucks. This one has this little rod which opens out and it'll go all the way up into the up position. But what you do with that is, if your caulk is gummed up because it's been sitting, or you need to open a new tube that has one of the barriers inside of it, this will pop through it. And then you pull it back out and you wipe it off with your wet rag, which by the way, if you're doing caulk, having a wet rag with you is one of the most important things. Don't try to do a caulking job with just a bunch of dry rags or paper towels. Have a wet rag available that you can throw away. Anyway, so this caulking gun has, let's see, come on now, has the rod, and it also has a really good quality cutter on it. Okay, so you see this little hole there? When you squeeze it, a razor blade comes through, okay? You want that built into your gun, first of all, for convenience, but second of all, I will tell you that the most important part of a nice clean caulking job is the gun, and you want to make sure that you can have the bead on this tube cut correctly. Okay, you don't want a giant thick bead, you don't want too tiny of a bead, you also don't want a flat bead, you want to have an angle on it. The reason there's a line there is, you'll notice that at the top of that point, I have a line. The purpose of that is so that when I look down at the tube, I know where the point is, and that way I know which way to angle my tube. Anyway, having done a lot of caulking, I will tell you that on this caulking job in particular, I had medium-sized beads, okay? I had very small beads, okay? And then over here in the shower, I had some of these really thick beads, okay? Having done all different size beads using these caulk tools, they don't make the job go faster, not at all. If you use one of these things, it's gonna take you 3 times as long to get that bead done as using your finger. And the reason is because when you put it down, the caulk, when you use your finger, you kind of sense if you have excess caulk, and you will release pressure, push pressure, and we're talking about just tiny amounts of pressure, but your brain knows how to do it, right? When you use this thing, you're not feeling the surface, and you end up, it accumulates a lot of caulk on here, and then the excess goes off the sides, which sticks to the wall, so you spend a lot of time cleaning the wall afterwards. You get better and better at it when you learn how to lay the bead down a little bit better, because if you can get it to the point that you have 0 excess caulk, 0, which is a challenge, then these are okay. But I will tell you, they're not gonna speed up your job. They just make for really clean beads. And I'm gonna show you one of the beads like right here. I don't know how well you can see this, but that is a perfect 45-degree angle bead, which is nice, but if I had done it with my finger, it would be 90% as good. So bottom line, final review on this, get you a good gun, watch some videos on the proper way to cut these tubes to get the best beading, and then I would use tape, and I would get really good at using your finger. No euphemism intended, okay guys? Anyway, hope this video helps y'all. Give me a like and subscribe. Have a good day.